And welcome to another episode of This Crappy House. Today we're going to work on repairing the floor. As you can see, I didn't do such a great job when I laid this floor last time, and we have a couple gaps here that have to be filled, but that is not a real problem. With the right tools and the right equipment, I'll show you how you too can fix a hole like this. Now, as we all know, the first thing you want to do is get good measurements of the gaps that have to be filled. Always measure twice, cut once. So that's what we have to do first, is really get good measurements on exactly what we're going to do to get this done. And or you could do that. And welcome back to This Crappy Old House. Here you can see that we've had some drywall separate from the stud to which it was attached. This is not a big problem. Don't worry, you're not going to have to replace the drywall. What we're going to do is be able to fix this. What we'll need are a few drywall screws, some drywall tape, maybe a corner piece up here. We'll do some sanding, priming, painting, and this will look just as good as new. It's really not that difficult. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is get some drywall screws, and I'm going to start back at the bottom and I'll work my way up, reattaching the drywall to the studs. So I'll use my power drill. I will get my or you could do that. And welcome back to my crappy old house. We've had a little household accident. These things happen when you live in a house. Nothing to be concerned about. What we have here is a hole in the drywall. Big piece of drywall. We don't want to replace the whole thing. So what we're going to do is patch this hole. It's not that difficult. What we'll need is some drywall tape, maybe some hardware backing, some drywall compound. We'll patch it up. We'll sand over it, prime it, paint it. It will be beautiful, as good as new. Now the first thing we'll do is we'll put some drywall hardware back here, some hardware backing. I'm not exactly sure. Let me get a measurement and see exactly how much I'm going to need here. What we'll really do at that point is once we get that drywall backing on, we're going to you could do that. And welcome back to my crappy house. Today we're going to talk about how to handle flies and flying pests that tend to get in your house in the spring and the summertime. We don't want them, but at the same time we don't want to use chemicals and poisons in our household to get rid of them. So today we're going to talk about better ways to control such pests. We can use fly traps, fly paper. We can use traps with citronella and citrus products, eucalyptus products, various ways of taking care of these pests without putting chemicals in your house. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hang a fly strip at a point where the flies tend to come in. I think I have one here in my toolkit. What we do first is actually get this up and running. Or you could do that. Something that we can use, it's very light, that we can put on the wall. And it's a very simple
Making sure my ass looks good.
well, we got that on film. And welcome back to another episode of This Crappy Old House. Today, we're going to tackle a kitchen. And this is certainly a kitchen in need of an update. Now, kitchen project is a great project because it involves so much. Plumbing, electrical, cabinetry, tile work, flooring. We'll have a lot of fun with this project. But before we get started, we're going to need to clean it up a little bit. And some of the tools that we're going to use for this cleanup will be a hacksaw and maybe some filing to cut away some of the drywall that we don't need, before we really get started in what's going to be a great adventure. and welcome back to this crappy old house. Today we're going to have to do some work to repair the damage we did in last week's episode. And the fundamental piece of building a house is really about framing it once the foundation is laid. Framing it, we'll use 2x4 studs, but for an example, I'm going to use these pieces of particle board. The key to framing is you will have one 2x4 applied to the foundation. You get the uprights and you toenail them in. Toenailing them in involves getting a nail and hammering it at an angle to attach the upright to the horizontal piece of wood. This is the foundation of everything you're going to do when you're framing the house. So the key is just the toenail. You got to toenail it in from here and then just toenail it in from could just do that. Because
it's hard to be a star. Probably a little deeper that way. Mm-hmm.